yet again, my phone abruptly ends my recording because the file size was too big, so I deleted some old videos. Yeah, yet again, like the reprise we just saw, with the small text there. This is the blue label now, but we have this blockier text like we have wherever it was. Foundations, where have you gone? I needed you. Oh well. It's gone. Just disappeared into the ether. It's weird. Is it gone? Curse of the Disappearing Record, that's what this is. Is it under here? Have I put it somewhere else? I don't understand myself sometimes. I seem to be like an unintentional magician. I just make things disappear. Where's the foundations gone? The foundations, baby, now that I found you. Why has it just disappeared off the face of the earth? Okay, well, forget about that. Let's use the sandpipers instead. It's probably in the video where it's gone. Yeah, that's kind of weird stuff. Right, let's use this one instead. So we've got this blocky text, and the same here with this one with the blue label and the wide text as well. As you can see, there's a connection there. Wide text means blocky text. Narrow text means grotesque. This one means this one again, which is the font they used on the word international on the Pi International records in the 70s. I can find it again. Of course, this wouldn't be a video without me struggling to find everything all the time. There it is. For Pi International, where you got? Come on. There we go. There we go, International up there in that font. It must be the same font. It's like their tiny Warner Brothers font. 1970. This has got the narrow text though, so that's probably what they did when they had a name that was too long to fit. Also, this label ripped when they put it on, so it's so off-center. Actually, it's not that bad. I've seen worse. Blah blah blah. Okay, what we got next? Oh, promos. This is a demo copy from the mid-60s, 66. The earlier ones had a white label like that, and the later ones from the late 60s, well, this is from 67, so it's a bit later, had a yellow label that matched the Pi at the time. So this has got the Black Bar Pi. Other side doesn't have an A on it. So yeah, that's a promo, a bright yellow promo record. Good song as well. And here's a promo of the Black 70s Pi from 79. Not used for long, this label, because they changed the name to PRT. Wow. Okay, let's look at some more Pi curiosities. That's that pile done. What's this pile? This is all foreign, not foreign, like different labels. Reprise with the narrow text, EP. Reprise with the wide text. As you can see, as I said before, the rights information is different. Look at my other video, you see the rights information is different depending on what printing press they used, okay? Ooh, there's lots of text on that one, EP, look at that. Another one with that font. This is an early one with that font, technically, because it's a weirdo. Warner Brothers, distributed by Pi for a couple of years, 65 to 68, or something like that. No, later than that, 65 to about 70. Yeah, Pi got a good thing out of Warner Brothers, I guess. But they had this orange label, which is not particularly exciting, but it kind of matched the American one, although the American one had the arrows going all the way down to the bottom. But Pi said, we need the space, so instead they put it all down there. Interestingly though, the American Warner Brothers had the artist name on the left, just like the Pi did, but for some reason Pi said, oh, we're not doing the Pi thing now, we're doing this instead. So that's that. And here's the one with the centre with the notches so you can make it into a jukebox record. It seems like Pi could have benefited from the little the little black flecks they used on the earlier ones to line up the text so it wouldn't get obliterated by the centre of the record being punched out. But as you can see, this label's printed so off-centre anyway, it doesn't really matter. It probably would have worked either way. Chess was distributed by Pi for a bit. We got earlier ones had a black label with gold text on it and the Chess logo from a short period of time. Later ones had a black label with silver text, which didn't wear out as bad because gold text on record labels seems to wear out a lot. This is a brilliant record. Wow. That is anyway. Here comes the judge. Oh my god. A and M, which stands for Alpert and something else. I'm sorry, whoever M is. Maybe it's Jerry Moss. Maybe that's who it is. A and M, the earlier ones like this one, had a label so big, the logo so big it just drifted into the middle of the label, which is kind of cool to be honest, because it's kind of badass. But all the A&M records I can find have the narrow font. I can't find an A&M with the wide font. As well as all the Warner Brothers, I should have said this earlier, all the Warner Brothers have the wide font from what I can tell. All the Chesses I can find have the wide font from what I can tell, but all the A&Ms have the narrow font. So obviously they delegated a particular printing press to do all the Warner Brothers and all the Pi, well not all the Pies, that's different, Pi we use both, but all the A&Ms, all the Chesses. This is a Durium Italian label with the logo. I like it, looks like a lollipop. It's they've got the wide font, same layout as a Pi, might I add. Look at that. What are they doing? They even got the rights text in a straight line. Pi was really liking that design. I love it as well. Don't blame them. If I was in charge of Pi, I would have kept this design forever. Oh, there's one with a middle that's knocked out as well. Dean Martin. This has the narrow text on a reprise. 64. This is the latest narrow text reprise I have, but it has of course the usual wide text there that spans from edge to edge with this font. Yet again, proving my hypothesis that each printing press and the label were tied together, as in like a particular label variant will be printed by the particular printing press which uses a particular font. Oh yeah, just that A&M. I have here an American A&M to compare. As you can see, they are somewhat the same because A&M is a real label. Reprise changed their label design into this one in the early 70s. Maybe the late 60s in America, but we took a while to catch up. As you can see, it's the same layout, just a slightly brighter mustard colour and with a boat instead. And the famous :R, whatever that means. They took the colon, they put it over there, and now it's Reprise Records. They got the rights information around the bottom. Unfortunately, doesn't keep the Pi trend of having it in a straight line like a Rebel, because no one else really did that. Can't think of many other record labels other than Pi that had the rights text in a straight line like that, other than Liberty. No, that had it around the edge as well. Yeah, Pi just did that. I mean, Piccadilly has it, but that's Pi. That's Pi's work. This is the work of Pi. Rights text in a straight line. I love that. If I had a record label myself, I would put the rights information. I wouldn't put it around the edge like everyone else does. No, I'd put it in a straight line because that's just so cool. Maybe other companies did that as well. Let me know. Tiny Tim. I love Tiny Tim. Great record. Everyone hates this record apart from me. Also, the sleeve, they blocked out the address with the actual printing because the address, I think they moved it when ATV took over or something. So that's that one. We also have an American reprise. So we have this reprise from like 61 or something, which matches up with this label. We have a later reprise. This is a Canadian one, but around this time we kept the same label. So this is from like the 60s. This is from like 69. So for some time, if we kept with the Americans, we would have been using this label for a few years. But no, we just kept with this one from 1961 for 10 years without changing it. It's typical. I like it though. I like this label. It's good. This is the equivalent American label. This is actually Canadian pressing. It's really thin for some reason. It's like, whoa. Probably the wrong sleeve. But it has Oh, it doesn't say Reprise on it. Well, it should be because it's Warner Brothers distribution, I think. But yeah, good tunes. It's an okay label design. It has the big R. That's probably when they came up with it. And we have a later Reprise, which matches up with this one. That's the design they probably still use today. The boat on the orange background. What's next? Oh yeah, whatever's under here. I overtook it with my pile of stuff. Very worn out looking solid center Reprise. One that was pressed by a different company that looks like Oriole or something, or someone who used that rough middle with CBS. This is the same company, by the way. That rough middle with the smooth outside. If you watch my CBS video, which you should, then you'll see more like that. And finally, here's a very pale looking one. They seem to get paler as the years go by. For example, the first ever ones, I mean, like this one here, Granada. This is like kind of mustardy, but this one is... So it's not a bad example, but some of them, especially the earlier ones, especially with the wide text, you can barely tell, but on camera it looks like these ones are like washed out compared to the later ones are. I have in here somewhere one that really shows that off. Of course, I don't know where it is because I am me and I always misplaced everything. But it's in there somewhere. Basically, they got paler. Trust me, they got paler as the years went on. So that's that pile. What's the next pile? We looked at the EPs before. The only pile left to look at, I think, is these. Actually, there's another pile after this. So yeah, Pi distributed a few other labels in the 70s. So those were the 60s ones. Warner Brothers, Reprise, Chess. But these are the 70s ones. We got DJM, which was Dick James Music. This evolved from Page One, split off when Page One became Dick James and Penny Farthing. Dick James might have been probably, I think, thanks to Elton John, Dick James was probably overall a bit more successful than Penny Farthing, even though Penny Farthing had some good stuff on it in the beginning, like Shocking Blue, and that's about it, to be honest. Oh yeah, Paul Da Vinci as well later on. They were both okay. DJM was probably more successful though because it had Elton John, so therefore it's probably a lot more successful, to be honest. But I love this design. It looks like a record. What's annoying slightly is that the yellow thing never lines up with the middle, and even if it did, the thing's not even like a perfect circle either. It's like a bit off. Probably blame Pi for that because Pi were probably messing it up. But I like it. It's a good label design. I like the look of it. It's got the yellow accents on top of the interesting silver. It's just this bit, this record. Without it, it would be nothing. I wouldn't care about it a bit. But this here, it really makes it for me. I really like it. No other label has that, as far as I know. And the sleeve as well. The earlier sleeves are red, but this is a slightly later one. It's got this sort of woo design to it. So that's DJM. Oh yeah, here's a later one. Different sleeve, but this has the later Pi font from the 70s, when Pi were doing stuff like that. Actually, a better example would be, let's find it, hang on. I need to be more organised. Although everyone says that and no one ever is, so I can't really blame myself. Yeah, here we go. With this font set, you got the sans serif underneath, just like this one, so that would be from 75, as it says. We've got a pink stamp, whatever that is, on there, probably some co-op stamp or something. Look at this, bright orange Dawn was some spin-off of Pi. I don't know what it was for. It seemed a bit useless, to be honest. I don't get Dawn. It was around like 70 to 74. Then it probably just dripped off because I don't know. It was a thing. It's apparently for like alternative music, but what kind of alternative music were Pi doing in like 71? I'm not entirely sure. Apart from Mungo Jerry. And that's got the wide font on it. Same with this one. By the 70s, past about 1970, you don't see the narrow font anymore. The last ones you probably see it on are A&M, because they had that font up until like the early 70s maybe, but past that point you don't really see the narrower font from the 60s anymore, unless I'm completely wrong. But yeah, I'm talking about this font here. Shame, because it was a good font, and like on the A&M, wherever I put that A&M, I'm so annoyed with myself for just constantly losing everything. There we go. Yeah, from 1968 this is, but they used this up until like 1970, 71 with the narrow font on it, and that might have been the last instance of this font, and then they probably said, A&M's moved away, let's just throw the letters away or something, I don't know. This is a Purple Dawn single. They came in all different colours, I think. They're like white and orange, something. Orange for the EPs and maxi singles. Long sleeve, probably. This is a slightly later one again, from the same era as that DJM, and the other one we got the sans serif font, but this is a plain white label, and it probably lines up with like everything's sticking together. This Pi here, we got this Dawn, that would have lined up there probably around the same time. Maybe not, this is 73 actually, but it's the same label design anyway. This is a great song, Johnson Boy. I have the American pressing as well on Island, I think it is. Another Pi distribution, a later one, is BBC, and it has the Pi label, Pi Records label on it. As they started doing in the late 70s, they put the actual Pi distributing on there. Same with Buddha. Look at that, oops, Buddha just doing his Buddha-y stuff on there. Pi Records, bang. Another one, Casablanca. Oh, look at this label. I'm not a big fan of this design. It's just bad. I don't know. I just don't like it. It's kind of makes me think of some. I don't know. It's just the anti-me label. But Pi there. Wow. Another one, 20th Century Records. Pi Records on there. This one doesn't have it, but it's obviously a Pi distribution. Oh no, manufactured and distributed by Pi Records. That is an obvious Pi thing as well. That's just the most Pi thing ever. Root. Oh, here we go. Here's a slightly earlier one. 72 this is from. I'm missing the middle of the record, but somewhere we have... I say somewhere because it is somewhere. We have... Ready for it? The American pressing. Look. And as you can see, the American on the left, the label's slightly different arrangement. For example, the one on the right has this probably too far down, and therefore it's kind of blocking everything. This has the wide font Pi fonts on it. Very nice. Nice to see. Pi labels would have probably been wherever it is. It's under here somewhere. This would have been the Pi label at the same time. As you can see, it's got the wide font on it, but CTI, and this has got this nice big side number indication, but the American doesn't have that one for some reason. Boo, boo. This is cool. Look at that number 1 going around, brr, and the number 2. Don't get that in America, do you? 20th Century, a later one, or is it earlier? I don't know. Pi on there. This one's been gored out again by someone. This is interesting. This tune, Feels Like I'm in Love by Kelly Marie, the disco hit from probably the end of disco, was first issued on Pi, but it didn't go anywhere or something in 79. So it was reissued in 1980 and then it became a big hit. But for some reason they issued it on 2 labels. They issued it on Pi International as +1 and Caliber as +1. Both of them have ++ on it. Different typesetting though. This one has the more conventional Pi on there, but what's interesting is this would have been made in 1980, but it has the Pi logo on it, which is no longer a thing. So instead they put PRT there, because probably Kelly Marie was signed to Pi, and they said, "Oh, this is a Pi record. What are you going to reissue it as? Pi?" But we put PRT here to show you who's really behind it, because Pi changed their name to PRT. And last of all, we have this random thing here, Johnny and the Hurricanes. It has Pi logo on it. manufactured by Pi. Pi, diddly die. That's been the end of Pi. Oh my god. Thanks for watching this video series about Pi labels. Hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed watching it. My throat's killing me. And I don't think I'll ever do another one of these label evolution videos again. Unless anyone has particular requests, I think I've covered probably the most interesting one, which is Pi. Other potential ones that I could cover are... what have I got enough of to talk about? EMI, I suppose. Talk about the different fonts used by EMI and Decca, that could be a thing. But I don't really know much about it, and it's kind of random. Because Decca and EMI both had lots of variants. On Big Hits, they just printed so many labels with different fonts. It's like, oh... But that could be a topic of conversation anyway. But thanks. Share your thoughts on this series if you want to, and tell me what I missed and what I was good at. And maybe if you've got any more information, if you've got a Pi label, if you've got a Pi record with a label variant I haven't talked about yet, put it in the comments and I will talk about it if I want to. So thanks for watching and keep watching the videos because it's great.